Today's class, fundamental duties. So fundamental duties and fundamental rights are the two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. Fundamental duties means it's the responsibility of every individual. Fundamental duties means it's the responsibility of every individual. So fundamental rights means it's the privileges given by the Constitution to the citizen. But fundamental duties means it's the responsibility of a service or a duty towards the country. If in case the discharge their fundamental duties with self-motivation, the progress of the country becomes easier. So the country should get progress means every individual should perform the duties. What Constitution had given the duties that should perform by every individual. So article number 51A, article number 51A, it's come under part 4th A. The Constitution of India speaks of the fundamental duties. Article number 51A. So fundamental rights, it's come under article number 12 to 35. So fundamental duties, it's come under 51A. So it was though the 42nd amendment that these duties were introduced in the Constitution. In 42nd amendment, amendment means correction. The 42nd correction or amendment, that fundamental duties are introduced in the Constitution. So you'll see what are the difference between rights and duties. So rights are the freedom guaranteed by Constitution some countries of the world to their citizens. These rights have a legal sanction and are enforceable in a court of law. So duties means, on the other hand, fundamental duty is the basic duty. It is the basic duty or responsibility bestowed on you as a citizen of the country. So what are all the fundamental duties? Under article number 51A, they are given 11 fundamental duties. Government has discussed or Constitution has given 11 fundamental duties. We'll see one by one. So first one, to respect the national flag and the national anthem. So if it is school, so every day in the morning itself we'll sing the anthem. And while singing the national anthem, there are many rules. So you have to stand and you should be in attention position. You should not turn here and there. You cannot do any other work. So like that, you should give the respect to national anthem. So you should give the respect to national flag. So that is the fundamental duty, first fundamental duty of every individual. Second one, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. So those who fought for national freedom, so they'll be having some noble ideals. So we should cherish and we should follow that noble ideals to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. So we should uphold and protect. So we should think of we are all one. We should show our unity. So we should not fight each other. We should show our integrity of India. Fourth one, citizens should be ready to defend and render national service towards India. If it is needed, we should defend our country. Defend means taking the gun and going and hitting the enemies, not like that. So we should show our patriotism towards the country. Whenever the government needed our help, our service, that time we should go and help them. We should give the service to them because the country is giving everything to us. The country is giving everything to us. First is nation, next is religion. First is nation, next is religion. So we should defend our country and we should be ready for any service to do to our country. Next, fifth one, to promote harmony and the spirit of brotherhood among all the people of India on religious or sectional diversities and to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. To promote harmony. Harmony means unity, friendship. We should show our friendship and the spirit of brotherhood among all the people of India. We should think of your all brothers and sisters. We should not fight each other. We should not do any discrimination. We should not do any discrimination. Spiritual common brotherhood. No discrimination in between the religion, no discrimination in between the caste, no discrimination in between the state. He is Tamilian, he is Kannadiga, like that you should not do any discrimination. So you should show our unity. You should live like brothers and sisters, and you should give the respect to women. Sixth one, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. So we should protect our rich heritage from olden age. Our ancestors, they followed and came. Everything we should respect, and everything you should preserve. We should preserve and should hand over to our next generation. So we should not follow the foreign culture. We should not do that. So everything what we are having the culture that you have to protect. Next, seventh one, natural environment including the forest, lakes, rivers and wildlife are expected to be preserved by the citizens. So nature is very important to live for the human beings. If it is nature, it is in healthy nature. If you are having healthy nature, we can live healthily. So we are needed forest, we are needed lakes, we are needed rivers, we are needed wildlife. Then only we can lead our life. So we should preserve our natural environment. What we needed, everything we are getting from the nature. So we have to protect our nature. Eighth one, to develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform. So we should have the develop of scientific temper. New things we have to implement, and you should have the questioning, and whatever the changes comes, you have to ready for that. You have to ready and live for that. So like that we should improve our country. And ninth one, to safeguard public property and to avoid violence. So public property, which are all called as public property, hospital, post office, bank, school, colleges, panchayats. So these and old buildings, that and all will be called as public property. So whatever the band, strike, anything if it is happen, what we'll do, first we'll take the stone and we'll throw the stone to bus. So whose property? It's our property, public property. We only spoiling our property. We should not do that. We should safeguard our public property and we should avoid violence. Avoid violence. 10th one, people are expected for the excellence of all the individuals and collective activities to help in the development of the country. So every country should get development. So people's cooperation should be there. People's cooperation should be there. If people's cooperation is there, then only we can do the development of the country. So collectively, mass Everybody wants together and they should help to the country to get development. So 11th one, to provide opportunities for education to child between the age of 6 to 14 years. So those who called 6 to 14 years, they'll be called as children. Called as children. So in your age and all in between that 6 to 14. So those who are the age of 6 to 14, really they should go to school. They should go to school. So all parents, they should give the opportunities for education to their children. So those who are age of between 6 to 14 years. Above 14 years, their wish. They can send to the school or colleges, or they can send to the work. But between the age of 6 to 14, they should be in the school. So the parents or the guardians, they should provide an opportunity for education to their children from the age of 6 to 14 years. So this is about the fundamental duties. So next we'll go for Directive Principles of State Policy, DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. So what is the meaning and what is the history of Directive Principles of State Policy? We'll see that. So the concept of Directive Principles of State Policy was from the Irish Constitution. So our Constitution has taken many things from different types of Constitution, from different countries. It has taken from Irish Constitution. Irish Constitution. The makers of the Constitution of India were influenced by the Irish nationalist movement. Irish nationalist movement. The principles inspired by the directive principles given in the Constitution of Ireland and also by the principles of Gandhism. So it was there in the Constitution of Ireland. So those who had done those who prepared the Constitution, they have taken the directive principles of Constitution, the directive principles of state policy from Irish or Ireland Constitution. So it's related to social justice, economic welfare, foreign policy, and legal and administrative matters. Legal and administrative matters. The Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. It came into existence on January 26, 1950. That we have discussed in last class. It is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world, containing 444 articles, 12 schedules, 24 parts, 22 parts, and 101 amendments. The directive principles of state policy, it will come under the part of fourth. The part of fourth. There are 22 parts are there in Constitution. In that part 4, it deals with the various directive principles of state policy. So the article number 36 to 51, 36 to 51, 12 to 35, fundamental rights, 51A, fundamental duties, 36 to 51, it is directive principles of state policy. Directive principles of state policy. So what is the meaning of directive principles of state policy? The directive principles of state policy are guidelines to the central and state government of India to be kept in mind while framing laws and policies. Laws and policies. See, all the government, if it is state or central government, they will introduce several policies, several plans, programs, several programs or plans or policies to the development of that country or that state. So while implementing these type of laws or policies or programs, they should keep in their mind some rules. They should keep in their mind some rules or laws. That guidelines will get from which rules you have to follow or which law you have to follow. That guidelines will get from Constitution. That only they have mentioned in directive principles of state policy. These provisions contained in part 4th of the Constitution of India. It is not compulsory they should follow that. But if they follow this, the state or the country will get rapid progress. So everybody wanted to get progress. So all will give the importance for these directive principles of state policy. So we'll see which are all the directive principles of state policy. Some, we are given some of the directive principles of state policy in below. So first one is social justice, samajika nyaya, social justice. To get public welfare means public development, they should have the social justice, economic justice and political justice to the citizen. Mute. Second one, social justice to the weaker section of society. Social justice to the weaker section of society. Who will be called as weaker section? Weaker section means those who are the aged people, those who are the handicapped people, those who are the orphans, and those who are women. So these will be called as weaker section. So they should get progress means they should have some basic needs. So government should, while implementing the rules, they should keep in their mind these weaker sections. These weaker sections, they also should come up. Then only the country will get progress. So they should keep in their mind while implementing the rules about the weaker sections. So they has to give some remedy against economic exploitation. Weaker section also should get education. They also should get free legal aid. So like this, the government should help them to get progress of this weaker section. So they should, while implementing the rules or while implementing the policies, they should give the importance for weaker sections. Third one, women and child welfare. Women and child welfare. So both women and men are going to work. You only can see that the wages or the salary of the men and women will be different. So the government should implement the laws. Men and women are equal. Men and women are equal. So the government should keep in their mind, what and all they should keep in their mind, to get the progress of women and the children. Equal wages to both men and women for the same work. This should keep in their mind. Next, maternity benefit to women. Maternity means the women will become mother. Women will become mother. So when she will become mother, on that time she'll be not able to do any other work. She'll be having tired. So she need of rest. On that time they should have some benefit. So those who are working in government sector and public sector, they'll be having maternity leave. Maternity leave means they'll get the salary with leave. They can take the rest and also they'll be having the salary also. So that is called maternity benefit. So maternity benefit to women. So the government is providing now 3.5 months, 4.5 months, 5.5 months leave for them. So they can take the rest and after that they can come and join for the work. So like that, maternity benefit to women, prevention of exploitation of children. So we should not give the torture to the children. So those who, prevention of exploitation, we have to stop the exploitation, stop the torture of women, to give the torture of children. Facility for children to grow healthily. So you have to give the facility to the children to grow healthily, in addition to providing free and compulsory education. So those who are the children, now you see Anganwadi, Shishu Vihara and all is there. So there they are getting the healthy food. So if they join to government school, the government is giving the food to them. Free education, not only free education, what and all they needed for the education, everything is provided by government. So free and compulsory education. So those who are the age between 6 to 14, they should get free education, compulsory education. So like that, the government should keep in their mind about children and about women while implementing the laws. Next, fourth one, labor welfare. Labor welfare. So labor also should get progress. So government, while implementing the policies, government should keep in their mind about the welfare of labor. So looking after welfare of labor, right to work, all the laborers will be having the right to work, conducive atmosphere to work, a peaceful atmosphere, what and all they needed for needed a good atmosphere while doing the work, that should be there while doing the work. Minimum wages to workers, a minimum wages should be there to while doing the work, and providing them opportunity to participate in the administration. And in some factories and all will be there, you can see there they'll be having their own association, so they'll be the part of that factory. So like that, in all the institutions they'll be having the rights to get the part of administration. Next, fifth one, aid to the helpless or needy. Aid to the needy or helpless. And those who are the aged people and those who are needy, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಬೇಕು ಅವರಿಗೆ government help ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So the government should help to the aged people, patients, and those who are the unemployed people. So those who are the widows. So now we can say widow pensions. Those who are the aged people, they will be having some pensions. So the government should give the important part. Those who are needy people or those who are the helpless people. Next, uniform code of law to all. Uniform code of law to all. So the government should give uniform code of law to all in those who are residing in the country. Next, seventh one, prohibition of liquor. Prohibition of liquor. So liquor means, you know what will make tight? Liquor. Some people are there, if you get up, they will not brush, they'll go and take the liquor first. So like such type of people also is there in our country. So prohibition of liquor. Drinking spoils health. Drinking spoils health. It leads to financial problem in the family and increased exploitation of women. So those who will drink and come, they will come and beat the women, and those they'll make some financial problem in the family. So the Constitution of India has directed all the state governments to impose the prohibition of liquor. So the government is giving the permission, the central government had given the permission to all the state, we can do the prohibition of liquor. So ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡದಂಗೆ ಅವರು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಡಿಬಹುದು. So some government prohibited the liquor. So like Gujarat, like Kerala, so there and all we can see they have prohibited the liquor. So prohibition of liquor. Next, protect agriculture and association of animal husbandry. The state government should make an attempt to organize agriculture and animal husbandry in a modern and scientific manner. So while implementing the laws, they should keep in their mind about farmers. So farmers, they should keep a modern type of equipments and modern type of farming and scientific type of farming. They should know about the details. The government should give details to the farmers and to get more crops. So for that only, the slaughter of cattle means killing the cattle, that also can prohibit in particular state. So they can implement these rules, prohibition of cattle. So that we can see in Karnataka government, they implemented the prohibition of cattle. So this is good, agriculture and animal husbandry. Next, 9, protection of environment. Protection of environment. In duties also we are discussed protection of. So we should protect the environment as well as wildlife, and protection of environment from pollution of industries and mines, and we should protect wildlife. So these are all needed for our future, So we should protect our environment. 10th one, protection of historical monuments. We should protect our historical places and monuments, like places like forts, places like buildings, so old buildings. So we can see that the monuments like Hampi, Belur, Alabedu, Pattadakallu, such other like that, many historical places are there. So we should protect our historical monuments. Next, 11th one and the last one, international peace and security. International peace and security. So that should be needed. International peace. So we are having many neighboring countries. With them we should have the good connection. So now you say India and Pakistan, we are not having the good connection. Some we can say surrounding other neighboring countries, we are having some good protection or good relationship. But so we should keep international peace. So then we will get the security. So participation of the country in safeguarding the international peace and security. So we have to keep the good relationship between other countries. So often our ministers, often our chief minister, often our prime minister will be traveling to other country because to have the good relationship. Now nodi iga namma nentru jote, so if you are having good connect with our relatives, will be knowing the feelings and the bad, will be having the good touch with them. They'll come and help with if you are having any problem, they'll come and help us. If they are having problem, we'll go and help them. So if you are not having the connection, you'll be not knowing any problems. So whenever we need it on the time, so like that the country also, if you're having problem, the other countries will come and help us. If they are having problem, we'll go and help them. So like that we should have the international relationship. So we'll be having international peace and security. So this is about the lesson of directive principles of state policy.